14th Ellis County Commission meeting to order. All those capable, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you do the roll call.
Commissioner Neil Younger,
Present.
Chair Michael Burgess,
Here.
Commissioner Nathan Liker.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Any changes to the order of business? No executive session or anything? Okay. We'll go straight through it. Prior minutes, any changes or modifications needed? I didn't see any on my part. Consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda, items A through G.
I'll second that.
Okay, got a motion and a second on the consent agenda. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
No opposed, passes 3-0. Issues from persons not on the order of agenda. Anyone to speak to the public? Monthly financial report. Any comments or discussion on
Good.
financials?
I have none.
Okay. County treasurer swearing in. Bobby Drying, county clerk Vern Reuter. We all get to swear at him.
You want to raise your right hand. I, Vernon Reuter Jr., do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Kansas, and faithfully discharge the duties of Ellis County Treasurer, so help me God.
Exchange your reins.
You can have a choice.
Thank you, Vern. Thank you, Bobby. High Plains Mental Health Center Crisis Intervention Center update. Mr. Craig Poe, High Plains Mental Health.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You made me feel welcome today with all the construction. Just wanted to provide a quick update. I've handed out the full list to you, but we're still under construction with the Crisis Intervention Center. Things are going well. As expected, construction has created some delays. We have worked with KDADS, who's the primary funding source right now, and they have approved us to extend into March. It'll be a March 2nd open date that we're at right now, which is disappointing, but we also don't want to open the facility with some kind of rush construction or things not being done. This type of facility isn't something you just come in and do construction as we are in this building right now and continue to provide services. Because of the acute hospitalization that we're going to be dealing with, we have to have the construction done and completed on time. So we're waiting for them to make sure that it's correct, but it is still going to be a life-changing facility for people in this area, and truly, truly truly appreciate all the support that the Commission has provided for us in this time. And I'll stand for any questions you might have, but just wanted to make sure you had an update on the timeline for construction, and we're still moving ahead.
I think, is there an invitation for us this evening?
There is. I don't think it's in this packet, but yes,
Okay.
at 5:30 at Verdant Bistro. If you are interested to come out, it's a town hall meeting put on by our state association. I'll say a few words about High Plains Mental Health Center, but the association's coming around and talking about the history of community mental health to our CCBHC certification, and we'll hit a little bit more on the CIC and potentially get a tour of where it's at in construction right now. So appreciate any of you that want to come out.
Have you started hiring and filling personnel roles?
We have hired a few very key positions. Our advanced practice registered nurses we have secured because they do take some time to hire. And we've hired our management staff, which were internal positions. And so they're kind of straddling both roles as we get ready to get everything open. We won't establish our full hiring probably till December or January area to be ready for March 2nd.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Let's Historical Society update, Ms. Amanda Rupp.
I brought notes, I'm sure you're glad. And these aren't to be used as weapons. You can't harass your fellow commissioners with those.
Well, we just took the weapons out of your hands, so.
Good morning, Commissioners. Amanda Rupp with the Ellis County
Morning.
Historical Society. It's been a while. I think there was a conflict of dates and stuff, so I got a little bit of stuff to update you about. I want to start with the buildings. We're still continuing all those. We had a great summer. Now that the building in Hayes is done, and we had a temporary exhibit up during the summer, we had visitors from out of state. Every day of the summer we had people through the doors, which is great. And that display is down, and so our next step is to build the permanent exhibits that will be in that space and open for next summer. So we're kind of bunkering down again during our off season, which we save hours and not be open full-time during the week. But that will be open next summer and be very exciting. So as I think I'm mentioned so many different places, so I don't know if I've mentioned it to you guys, but the focus of that museum will be on, the Wild West history and, the dramatized things of the frontier city and things like that. I say our three amigos, Custer, Cody, and Hickok, and their celebrity and all those things that pull people off the interstate to come see us. So in Victoria, the upstairs has been finished for almost a year now, and we are utilizing it. We've moved a lot of the items that were stored on our Hayes campus over there. This winter, we are moving the last little bit, which is textiles, which is two of these rooms filled with clothing. Too much. So we'll be going through that. We are writing grants for the rest of the funding for what we're in is phase 2. The upstairs was phase 1. Phase 2 is going to cost about $600,000. We've got a little over half of that right now. We're looking to some local foundation grants to help with that. And then phase 3 will be after that, and that's finishing the outside of our section and then finishing the inside displays for that. So hopefully the whole project will be up by January of 2027. But the building will be in use hopefully by next summer. It might be in this state, but people can use it, and there'll be facilities and air conditioning. So moving on, the society has a annual meeting in January, and we have 3 or 4 open positions that aren't renewable this year. So if anybody is interested, or you know anybody that would like to be on the Historical Society board, please send them our way. We've got a couple candidates that our board is looking at regardless, but everybody's welcome, and there'll be positions taken from the floor as well in January. Give Fest, we had a great turnout. I think they were trying to raise their endowment for, I don't know how many years. They had $3,000 sitting in an account, and it was just never looked at. Well, we got to fundraise for other things. That event has helped us. Last year, we endowed it at $10,000. We already made 17 that first year, and another probably 5 this year, and it will just keep on growing. So I want to thank Heartland Foundation. If you guys hadn't heard about that, I'm sure you all did, but it was a great way to get us that jump, and so that we can start financing that endowment account and hopefully having some revenue for ourselves in the future. Let's see. I said the building will be closed for the most part. There's no exhibit to see. However, it's such a nice building, I didn't want it to go to waste while we're sitting there planning and designing for the exhibits. So we are utilizing the upstairs gallery space. The Daughters of the American Revolution will be hosting their annual meeting there November 8th, and they will have a speaker talking about the Walker Army Airfield history. And that is open to the public, not just their members. So at 1 o'clock on that Saturday, anybody's welcome to join us. And then also the Hayes Arts Council will be helping them host their annual meeting there in that space on October 23rd. So we're utilizing, the space and the wonderful area and location and event space, not just letting it sit there beautifully done and while we don't have visitors. So Another side note is just because we can't seem to sit still and just do our own projects, we are looking at, that Pete Felton's property is behind our building. And that property someday hopefully will be a legacy to his art and his contribution to this county. And so that building is rapidly deteriorating, like all the limestone buildings that aren't kept up and the shake roofs. So we are forming a committee to help with that someday might be part of our campus. But, we just aren't satisfied with just doing one capital project apparently, so. And then, I handed out the fans that we've been handing out all summer, getting ready for the 150th anniversary of the Volga Germans settling in this county. And I've talked a lot about how the small museum that we had, the gallery space that we had, always could tell two stories, really large stories, which is the Wild West history that is fantasized about and brings people that don't know about us here to town, but also the Volga German immigrants that came here by the thousands and really cultivated this area so that it thrived. Otherwise, it would have washed up like other small towns along the railroad. So we are really excited about celebrating their contribution, and I'm really impressed, and I want to brag about them in public to anybody that will listen. The group that has come together as a committee for the Sesquicentennial Action Committee has been working for 2 years. They meet monthly, or for that first year it was every other month or something. But it's not like, everybody came in and interested and we had 40 people interested and they trickle off. These 20 people or more have been working for 2 years every time. They're still putting in the work. They've come up with great ideas, and we're gonna have a great next year. The calendar will be out in January. We'll have handout rip-off calendars so everybody can know, but there is something happening all year long. Just to go over a couple things, we will have some history speakers. We're working with some cooking demonstrations that will be for adults and children at the Hayes Public Library. There will be special exhibits up at the library, on our campus and other places, and we're getting ready to switch out the one in the county building to talk about Volga German history here next week. And then there will be village celebrations. Every of the Catherine, Munger, Shinshin, all those villages, they've picked a date in the summer next year where they will have a special mass, usually for the ancestors, and then they'll have a picnic of some sort, whether it's coffee and donuts or Catherine's is throwing a huge one. They're gonna have a threshing machine out there and different things. So all those little will be on the calendar so that people can go and visit the villages. Some of them don't have as many people helping out anymore, but it's still, they're really excited about being able to bring people back into their community and show them what they're about. So we'll have those throughout the summer. Then in early February, and I'm not going to remember the date, the Ministry Alliance in Ellis County wanted to everybody celebrate the beginning of that. So they're all, on one certain date, they're all going to sing God of the Plains together because it was written by I think a brother here in Ellis County. I can't remember his name, but anyway, I should know all these history facts, but don't quiz me on history facts. I'm admin. Anyway, but so they've got great ideas. There's also going to be a Kinderfest June 13th next year, and a bus tour that goes through the rock quarries and talks about the limestone that was used in most of the buildings and things by the settlers here. And then we will culminate, we're going to have things all year long. On our calendar won't just be our events, but any annual event that is held that has German heritage, the German Fest in Shinshin and the Essen Fest that was held this last weekend. Those will all be on there so that they can be publicized throughout the state as well. Hopefully get lots of people coming back. But the week that we're calling Coming Home Week will be August 9th, August 1st through the 9th next week, and it ends when Herzog Fest is. So we'll have a week-long celebration specifically for that week. We'll have an all-village picnic where we've rented out the fairgrounds for lots of people to gather in different ways, and hopefully a parade. But we're going to have, Cheryl Glassman is writing us a play that we're going to put on at different places. Then on Sunday, there will be a special mass in the afternoon at Victoria with the bishop, German hymn sung and celebrating the ancestors again. But before that, for those people that are in town and want to hang out before the Mass, we're having, I don't know this word, maybe you guys, Maskut? Instead of goodbye, they say Maskut. Go make good, be gone. So that's what we're having for the end of that celebration that week. So, and why it's so important to have a celebration that week is also there will be at least 300 extra visitors in town that have this heritage and this love for their people in town before the national convention that will be hosted here, the ASHGR convention that will be hosted here that week as well. So we're even expecting a few different guests from Europe. We have a class of German college students that will be coming over as well. So lots of fun activities. I really still want to get you guys a past 5 years look and make you do a little history presentation of the Ellis County Historical Society and how much you guys have helped, but I've been working on grants, so I didn't get that produced for you. But and then Darren, lastly, I will have the pictures up for your beautiful wall by Friday. I have them scanned, and I'm just working on editing them, clearing some of the mistakes up from them. So.
Did she get you the jump drive?
Yes, I've got the jump drive. I just with the funeral the week before, and then this week a couple grants were due, so I'm behind. Sorry. Anybody have any questions? Or any ideas for our 150th celebration? I can't believe how well, I mean, I've been on a lot of committees over the past five years doing this, and we've got a lot of great participants in civic organizations and things that will happen in the city and come together to make things happen. But this isn't a annual thing or a continual civic organization that's doing this. This is a group of people that have been working on something for 2 years, and they are so dang happy to do it and so proud to do it. It's floored me, and I love it. So.
That's great when they have somebody to help them foment it. It really shows. So
I think it will bring a highlight to this area for even just within the state for that year. So feels good, looks good.
Any idea how many hours you've had in volunteer plus yourself and all the other?
Well, we calculated, and I will pull it together at the end of the year for our annual projections or whatever. I know that the hours for Victoria for just the demo and stuff that we did so far, just working on that building, is over 1,000 volunteer hours. Different people, making things, and that's just our side, not the VCC side. But I'll have that for you when I come in December with my annual report. So,
Okay.
because it's impressive, and I like to see that I still consider us not fully functional or not fully open, but our big, when we stood here 4 years ago, our big challenge that sat in front of us, we realized that we wanted to bring our supporters back to the Historical Society so it didn't fall under. But with capital improvements needing to be done, we couldn't just focus on one of those. We couldn't just close down and not do any programming and just focus on our capital needs, because everybody would have been like, well, we're not, you're not doing anything. And still, in looking at the big picture, it feels like we're not doing as much because we're burning the candle at both ends. As soon as these, and they're coming to an end, these capital projects are done and these things are open, that part of my job can focus again on programming and other things. So I'm excited about that.
Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amanda.
Thanks.
Cottonwood Extension District update. Monique Kerner and Carissa Frazier.
Tall people before me. Good morning. My name's Monique
morning.
Kerner. I'm the Family Community Wellness Agent for the Cottonwood Extension District. My office is here in Ellis County. So I just wanted to update everyone as far as what we were focusing on since I was here in May. So we've been working on health and nutrition programming. Right now, I'm doing a Stay Strong, Stay Healthy Level 2 program. And then we'll also, the flyer that I'm passing around is for Walk with E, so we'll start that in November once Stay Strong is over. We're also continuing our nutrition workshops, so after our hypertension program, we moved into the Med Instead of Meds program. We had great success with our babysitting clinic that we had in July, so we will plan on doing those probably twice a year. Had great partnership with Ellis County EMS to come in and get those teenagers certified in first aid and CPR. So we plan to do that twice a year. We should do our next one, I think, in January. I'm continuing my work with childcare, so I still focus on working with the task force. I was at the conference and also presented on safe sleep while I was there. So that was a really good day. We're continuing the Becoming a Mom. We just finished up our second series for this year, and we have 3 planned for 2026. And then our family pizza night was a big success this year. This is a good problem to have. I had to call Papa Murphy's to see if we could get a few extra pizzas because we had such a great response to that program. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but Papa Murphy's donates pizza crusts, and Kiwanis gives us a donation for the toppings, and so we have volunteers come in and help us prep the toppings. We do a little education around why family meals are important. We do a glow germ hand washing, so they learn about germs and health. And then this year we had Christine Weber from Early Childhood Connections come out and talk about I love you rituals. I love you rituals, and that was really welcomed as well. And then they go to our back room and they make a pizza with their kids, and they take it home and bake it and have supper as a family. So I'm not sure what we did, but we had about 50 more people than we did last year. So it's been really well received by the community, and we hope to continue to grow that. It's a really fun day for our office. And then we're just continuing programming with schools, libraries, and community organizations. So, any questions?
With the training that you guys do for, teenagers for wanting to be in the child care profession,
Yes.
is that an every year thing? Is there something new or some things new every year that they should be returning and coming back?
For our babysitting clinic, that would really be up to them. I don't know that we will change the curriculum so much because that also is a K-State signature program that we're working on. So actually, in like my professional development, that's one of the things that we're working on is making it a little more congruent across the state. So it would be up to them if they would want to come back and have a refresher course, whether it's the CPR and first aid, that might be beneficial to them to renew that. Maybe not every year, but maybe every couple of years if they wanted to go that route.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome. Anything else?
Thank you.
Good morning. I'm
Morning.
Carissa Frazier. I'm the community health worker for the Cottonwood Extension District. So my position is a little bit different than Monique's. I'm grant funded, and my role is to reach rural Kansas and the agriculture workforce. So right now I'm gearing up to do Medicare counseling that actually starts tomorrow. So that will be this fall, and I really help folks with their Part D insurance and help them compare plans and see how things change for them from year to year. I also work closely with a different mindset association. I'm not sure if you're familiar with them, but they are a dementia respite care program here in Ellis County, and they serve caregivers with caregiver support groups, and they also do programs for those affected by dementia for respite care and social programs for them. I'm excited for the new year. I'll be working with Monique for the Hypertension Awareness Prevention Program. So we're certified through KDHE to teach folks one-on-one how to monitor their hypertension. They get a free blood pressure monitor. And then we also have nutrition workshops for them as well, and just helping them manage it. I'm also rolling out a worksite wellness program for the new year, so I'll be able to work with businesses and employers and the employees to help them create and cultivate a healthy workplace. And that can look like doing lunch and learns over wellness topics or one-on-one health guidance, either with that hypertension program or other chronic care. I'm also working on becoming certified for tobacco cessation, so whether that be smoking, chewing, or vaping, so helping people and guiding them, connecting them to resources to help them stop smoking. So, does anyone have any questions for me?
You said you're trying to reach out to the ag community quite a bit.
Yeah.
How have you been received?
Pretty good. So that's one thing with the employee wellness that we're trying to work together on. I've actually been working with the chamber some on this, so we're really trying to reach the rural communities, so whether that be Ellis and Victoria as well, and then also reaching that ag business industry through the employee wellness. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Yeah, thank
Thank you for
you.
the update.
Thank you both.
We got conditional use permit, RV boat storage on Toulon.
Good morning, Commissioners. Justin
Morning.
Craig, Environmental Services Director. I'm filling in for Mr. McDaniel this morning. He had a prior commitment. So before you is a conditional use permit, number 2527 for trailer, RV, and boat storage. With me, Mr. Schomburg, if you have any questions or about the project itself. On September 24th, the Joint Planning Commission recommended the approval of the CUP. There was some, that was with the condition that the applicant work with the noxious weed department to prevent the spread of bindweed between the properties that are already out there. There was some other questions brought up regarding drainage and the traffic pulling into the facility, the proposed facility. Some of the residents were concerned about maybe some signage out there to help direct that or to warn residents. But with that, I'll stand for any questions.
I guess my only question is, and I talked to you earlier about that, with the driveways that are going in there. I don't know if Brandon can tell us, or you can tell us what the width of those are gonna be for coming out on that narrow little highway?
I asked for 40-foot.
40 foot? Okay.
So, but I have to pay for that, so I can get it wider if I have to. So, and then like you said, it'll be, I don't know if we're gonna probably 65 feet at least to pull off of the, before the first gate would be, so that gate would completely pull off the road.
These buildings, they already exist out there, right? They're already built or not?
No.
Or what am I looking at?
Yeah, the photographs provided an example of what
Oh,
he
okay.
has in a different location, just to display what they look like.
Okay.
It's a nice flat area, so I don't see a problem out there.
No, I don't have any issues, and I think planning and zoning addressed the questions that I saw them were addressed. I'll move to approve Resolution 2025-17 to approve CUP 2527 to allow trailer, RV, and boat storage on the described parcel of land located at 0 Toulon Avenue, Ellis County, Kansas.
I'll second that.
Okay. Got a motion and a second on the table. Any further discussion?
I have none.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
No opposed, passes 3-0.
All right, thank you.
Justin.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Water well easement. Adam Paray, Darren, talk about it. Adam's here this week. Thank you for rescheduling for us.
As the commission discussed, the water well agreement was pushed back to this week to discuss, allow Mr. Prey to be here to answer any of the questions that you may have directly related to him or the request for the water well. Was part of the agreement that we had when we purchased the property up there to build a new public works facility. And we took into a couple considerations. I think one of the other agreements that we had at that point was dependent on KDOT, allow Mr. Prey to put a driveway or an entrance off of 183 into his property, which has already been done, so we didn't have to worry about an easement from our entrance through and over to his property to the north. The second condition was a water well agreement that would be to be future drafted and approved if he were to need it. I know Mr. Prey can talk about his inquiry to the water district, and they're, as the general public knows, they don't have permits open at this time. He is, I believe, number 31 on the list to get an agreement, so, or a water meter tap. This agreement doesn't necessarily mean that he will definitely put a meter and water lines into our Dakota well, but just gives him the access that if he needs to, if he can't get the meter in time from Trego County, he has the option to be able to get water from us at his expense, and then would pay us the fee equivalent to what we would pay a normal water fee for his usage. Just for clarification, because I do know the commissioners did have some questions on this. This agreement does not tap into our Trego County rural water. We're not using that to sell Mr. Prey water. This is off a private well that we have on site. That's completely separate of that. That's what this would be used for. So just for clarification on that piece as well. But I'll let you visit with Mr. Prey if you have anything else to add to it, maybe.
Okay.
Adam Prey, I stand for questions. You did a great job. So.
We are not effectively creating a water district out of our well.
Sorry, that was the other question. No, this is essentially our Dakota well, giving him temporary access for an undetermined amount of time until he has water from Trego County. At that time, this agreement it's got a clause in there that states once he has access, or the future owner of the property has access to that rural water district, this agreement would go away. And so this isn't for perpetuity. It's just a temporary piece until he has access to water with Trego County. Not a rural water district. We're not supplying water to more houses, developments, or anything. It's, I believe, essentially a business type environment with a shop, a couple toilets, sinks, etc. This agreement does address the idea that this is a Dakota well, which means it's a well water, so Mr. Prey will be responsible for testing the water, and which he's already done, and a company will design a system to filter the water and treat it to make it more consumable for what they're going to be using for.
Okay. How will this work with will it be a completely separate pump system? Will it run off of our singular pump that's out there?
So in speaking to the Stockton Water Office, that was another question that the commission had, is based on our permit, it's industrial use permit, which does allow for consumptive use of up to, I believe, a half acre feet of water, which was like hundreds of thousands of gallons of water, which is well more than we would all use collectively at that site. So no issues there. They do require that we have a separate meter coming off before our meter, so that way it can be metered separately, which Mr. Prey would be responsible to reporting to the water office. And Brendan and I discussed this last week. The pump and everything is located on the north end of the cold storage building in that Noxious Weed shop, so we would have to tie into it from there and supply the water back down after the pump to his location, which all of that expense would be on Mr. Prey.
And Nathan, might help you too. The goal, it should be a minimal amount of water, but we'd have a pressure tank, and once it gets down to a certain amount, fill it back up, but it should be pretty minimal, less than a household per month.
Because we'll be like at peak usage times with Gary using noxious weed and spraying, will it hinder that, our operations?
Yeah, we'd have a pressure tank, so it won't affect us at all.
No, it won't affect you, but will it affect us?
So Gary's got a 1,500-gallon water tank inside the
Right.
building, and then that 3,500 gallon tank outside to use that's on a float system that automatically fills and refills at all time. I'll let Brendan speak to it. It didn't seem like there's gonna be any issue.
Brendan McKay, Ellis County Public Works Director, is what Darren was saying. There's a 1,500 gallon mixing tank inside of the cold storage building. There's also our old brine tank system that's outside, and that is, I believe, 12,500 gallons on a float system, so we anticipate no interruption of service for our needs.
It's more than I thought outside. I said 3.
Okay.
It's a little bit bigger than that.
Yeah.
Okay.
As far as the electric, I know, saying the pressure tank, yeah, it gets down to 30 pounds and it's gonna kick in, take you back up to 50. Are we working some kind of an agreement out as far as on electric? Because this ain't just a 30-foot well. We're talking hundreds of feet deep. So are we working something out on that, or is that also, and I don't like the word temporary, because the last I've heard, they aren't giving any taps on that water line. So temporary going to be years? That's just my question. Any thought on that?
So as far as electric goes, I would presume what we pay you in water fees to get the water would cover the electric fees and maybe even make a little bit of money, but that would be something that's definitely negotiable. We'd obviously make it fair. As far as timing goes, that's a good question. I don't know. It could be years. Trigo County said that they are looking at opening up more taps, but no guarantees there, Neil. And we have some other avenues that we're looking at. We own a tap through Gellas. If we could get that transferred over, this might be a moot point. But again, no guarantees. So this could be, we're at the mercy of Trigo County Water at this point. Or potentially talk to the city of Hayes about making, giving water out. We're a long ways away from that. But if we ever do get the R9 ranch, or when we get it, that could be another potential avenue. But yeah, no guarantees on that either. So it could be years.
Yeah, because that's actually harder on our pump, kicking on and off on a small thing than letting it constantly run. So that's kind of my concern, what we want to do there as far as, it's going to be wear and tear. Depends on how much gets used up there. But if you're thinking that it's just less than a house or, same thing as a house use, then probably pretty good with it. So.
Yeah, there'd be 2 restrooms and nobody's gonna be there full time, so it'd be pretty minimal.
Will this agreement follow suit to whoever purchases a property from, after Mr. Prayer, after whatever, it'll follow the property and this well? So they can't really expand above what's there?
Correct. There's provisions in the agreement that states that they can't put a fescue lawn out there. They can't be watering. They can't be like a pool business. They can't have a business that fills spas every day to sell them. So it's minimal use on the agreement. So that way it doesn't come into a business that's a high use of water. That would terminate the agreement. And I would agree with Mr. Prey. We were in the exact same position with our public works facility out there. We were visiting with the Trigo County Rural Water District we were communicating with them almost every month for over 2 years to try to even request to get that meter, and Mr. Burgess and I had to go to a meeting to make that request. So Mr. Prey's right, it could be several years until this goes into place, and it's beyond either his or our control on that, or a large expense of extending city water, which is also beyond our control as well. We did look at that option when we were looking at our facility, and I don't remember the price, but it was hundreds of thousands of dollars to get like a 4-inch water main out that way, which didn't make sense feasibly for us. It would have been cheaper to drill another Dakota well and save 80% off of that. And I think before we would agree on any type of monthly payment, that would come back before the commission to say if there's like a surcharge just for the electricity and then a certain amount for, we would just monitor their gallonage and, like I say, make it comparable to what the water district is, so that way we're not trying to be unfair competitors to anybody, just try to keep it fair and equal and grant him access to having water for that temporary time frame, because we don't know when that would be.
And just to reiterate, this was already more or less pre-discussed upon purchase of these properties.
Correct, it was in the closing documents of the property that we purchased.
I would have rather kept the Dakota Web, but where it's located, when the county purchased the property, didn't make sense. That was part of the agreement when the land transferred. And do you guys meter the water now? Do you know how much water you're taking from Dakota Well?
Brendan McKay, Public Works Director again. We do have a meter on there after the pump for our usage. I believe we have 15 water acre feet as our permit, and 1 water acre feet is available for use on your property, which is just over 1.5 million gallons. So this meter would go before our meter kicks in, is how the state has told us to put this in. So there'd be 1 acre foot for your development use, and then we would have the remainder on ours, which is, I think we've used a total of 5% of the yearly water amount, and we've done a lot this year. So we don't anticipate ever getting close to what we're allowed to pull out of there.
I guess the only reason I brought that up with the electric, we just went through that in our workshop, how the demand, so I mean, it's not like it's just a 240 volt pump, it's 3-phase, and that's gonna affect our demand, which, like you say, if you're not using that much, but time will tell on that, so.
I got one last question, more on the legal termination side of it. How do we approach it if water meters are made available by Trigo County Rural Water, and whoever owns the property at such time deems it unnecessary? Is this agreement then terminated, or does it continue?
County Councilor Bill Jeter, the agreement would terminate at such point in time that Adam, or whoever his successor in title is, has access to rural water district water.
Okay.
Whether they choose to connect or not, once they have access, then by the terms of this agreement, it terminates.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And it also, to answer your earlier question, it would extend to any assigns of Adam going forward.
Okay.
It's good clarification, because one of the, I guess, my concern in a way on that in the future is if Trigo's looking at this, says, well, you already have access, we don't need to grant you anything, then, but the way you said it is, if they grant you, whether they actually get the tap from Trigo or not, if they have access to it, then this would terminate. Because
Yes.
I don't want them to not apply
Yeah.
for that and then say, well, we got our water, we don't need to apply at all now, or something.
Yeah,
That would be
I
kind
think
of
at
my
such
concern.
point in time, the rural water district would advise the owners of that property that they have access to rural water, and the agreement would terminate by its own language.
Okay. Very good. Well, with that, I'll move to approve the attached water well agreement and have the chair sign the document.
I'll second that. We got a motion and a second on the table. Any further discussion or questions?
I do have one other question. Since that's gonna be on our property, you will not, are you going to have access to, on a weekend, if something would happen, whether whoever has that property and they need water, what What kind of a situation is that going to put us in if they need water?
Neil, I expect to have about a week's worth of supply at any given time, so I don't think it'll be an issue.
Okay, very good. Okay. All right, thank you.
That would probably fall back on us as the owners of said
Yeah.
well. Would be my thought.
Yep, and we would have to get somebody out there.
We would have
to-
to have something out.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. No opposed, passes 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Saline River Bridge Grant. Construction engineer, design inspection, Brendan.
Morning, Commissioners. Brendan McKay, Ellis County
Morning.
Public Works Director. Before you is the design and inspection or design proposal for the Saline River Bridge, FAS 120. It's that big one that we've looked at the last few years on our road tour over the Saline River, North Ellis. As part of that grant that we were awarded, we will be replacing two structures, FAS 360, which is on Saline River Road, just east of there, and then one that's on the County Line Road. Those are both bridges at the moment. They'll be replaced with non-bridge structures, so less than 20 feet, and that gives us funding as well for this grant. This agreement's just for the design and planning of this project. The geo work, or geological testing, will be done separately. It'll be coordinated with Penco, so there'll be another proposal for that as we get further along. So that's just our PE part of this project. The grant will cover construction and inspection costs on a reimbursement rate basis, but all PE right away and design, and utility relocation is at the county's expense. Are there any questions on that?
I do. What are we doing with the hill on the north side for site on that Saline River? I know we had
Our
talked
intent is
about it.
actually, we're looking at relocating the bridge, offsetting it back to the east where there was a structure previously. So as part of this design, they'll do inspections to determine where the piling of that old structure we're at and see. There'll be some raking of that hill, but I don't envision it becoming completely flat because of the grade, the true grade difference through there.
That was some of the questions that I was getting from some of the farmers up in that area.
Yeah.
When they seen that this was being awarded, so.
Unfortunately, there's no way to break that all the way down
Right.
flat. If you look at the old structure of the bridge that sat to the east of there, the bridge used to be a much smaller structure anyways. It narrower width, narrow in length, and then shot straight up that hill. This one is put in at a slight angle, tipping towards the south. I envision the new one will also do that to accommodate so it's not such a sharp drop.
Just for clarification, Brendan, that this is a whole new structure, so we're gonna try and leave the existing structure open during construction phases.
That is our intent right now, yes. And that's what the engineer will, that once approved, will work on designing to leave that structure in place, so there will be no 7+ mile detour for the structure.
Okay.
Because it's not feasible to put a shoe fly in there, as Neil stated about the hill on the back side, on the north side of it. A shoe fly would not be conducive to that area. So we're gonna try and leave it in place and then demolish afterwards or leave in place for historical purposes.
Got it. Good. This is probably the first of many agreements to come.
Yeah.
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 So I'll move to approve PO 7943 to Penco Engineering for the preliminary and design engineering for the replacement of FAS 120.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second on the table. Further discussion of this. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
No opposed, pass 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Brandon, thanks. You're getting like a ATM machine with all these grants that you're getting there, so.
Well, unfortunately, with all the grants I've gotten in my time of here, I've paid for my entire salary for the life of my career here, well into past retirement age, but I'll keep applying.
Thank you.
That's the agenda. County Administrator report.
Two quick things. Hopefully by your commission meeting next week, we should have carpet in this room back to somewhat normal. That's hopefully the plan, that they get in later today, if not tomorrow, and finish the carpet up in this area, and they'll start cleaning the rest of the basement, and hopefully, we're crossing our fingers that Jennifer and Janet get to move back into HR this week, and possibly Bobby into our elections room over here. HR is maybe next week, or I'm sorry, IT is maybe next week, so progress is coming down here. And then the second thing is just a reminder, I believe, just for Michael and Neil, or Nathan, to visit with Jennifer after the meeting to get your open enrollment paperwork for your election benefits for 26.
Okay.
I got mine.
Yep.
Okay.
Nathan?
I have no report. Thank you.
Neil?
Yes, I did go to the Give Fest, which there was a lot of people there, and that was a success. I mean, the amount of funding that everybody went in, when you can double your money like that, what a good deal for our community, and they all stuck together, and the kids that were there when I was there for that short time, but yeah, a very good deal. And I did yesterday go out for a little bit in the morning to our in-service, and after the coach and cowboy thing, a lot of good responses from our employees, so that was good. And I also did attend the Shinshin meeting last night, and I'm not saying no names, but thanks for our Sheriff's Department that was down there and explained some things that the city of Shinshin is going to be working on, so I appreciated that very much. That's all I have.
For me, Kansas Workforce One board meeting on Friday. I went to Emporia for that meeting. The biggest change, they continue to kind of consolidate, so the Kansas Workforce One is now covering 96 of the 105 counties, and essentially it's the state's organization to when businesses are shutting down or downsizing, this group goes in and helps those individuals looking for employment to get their resumes up, find employment elsewhere, and do all kinds of different programs to keep employment. So that's the big change, though. It's consolidating now to 96 counties of the 105. The other 6 counties, I doubt we consolidated their Sedgwick County and a couple counties around them will continue to have their own workforce, and then it's over like Johnson County and Shawnee. That area will continue to have its own workforce. But good things coming out of it. It's always tough when businesses are shutting down, but it's good that there's an organization that can go in and help those workers figure out something quickly. And then I attended the county in-service day yesterday, and I stumbled through a little bit of a speech to them to thank them, all our employees, but I do believe we have a county that is the envy of the state. When I travel for KAC or other Workforce One meetings and those kind of things, our county is talked very highly of in all our different departments, so I very much appreciate the work that we do as a county. With that, I will call the meeting adjourned at 9:23.